Anfield is in a state of absolute chaos. While AndIraola makes a bold new signings pledge to the fans, Liverpool have just watched a top target join Manchester United, and a £74 million contract crisis is threatening to see Virgil van Dijk and Alisson walk away for free. Is the Areola era over before it's even begun? Or is a £50 million Portuguese pure talent about to save our season? Stay tuned, because the news coming out of Anfield Central today is massive. Salah replacement, Liverpool close in on £50 million pure talent to lead the attack. Is a former Wolves flop really the man to replace the legendary Mohamed Salah, or have Liverpool's scouts discovered a pure talent that the rest of the Premier League has completely overlooked? The search for a new wide forward has taken a dramatic turn, with reports from Portugal suggesting the Reds are now at the top of the list to sign Sporting CP's Francisco Trincao. This comes at a time of massive upheaval, with Salah's contract terminated and a desperate need for fresh blood on the wings. Why now? Because the market is moving fast, and our primary targets like Yan Diomande are being slapped with eye-watering £87 million price tags. Liverpool need quality, but they also need value. Trincao, who struggled during a loan spell at Molineux where he only scored twice, has completely reinvented himself in Lisbon under Ruben Amorim. He's no longer the shy youngster, he's a complete player with stats that demand attention. The tension is palpable among the fan base. Some see Trincao as a massive downgrade from Salah, a player who has already failed once in England. Others argue that he is the pure talent Areola needs to implement his aggressive front foot style. The conflict is clear. Do we spend big on a proven superstar, or do we trust the data and go for a £50 million redemption story? The facts are compelling. Trincao has amassed 98 goal involvements in 208 matches for Sporting, including 47 goals. Liverpool are reportedly closest to triggering his £50 million release clause, because Sporting need to sell before they can buy. With Federico Chiesa also potentially on his way out, the vacancy on the right wing is officially open for business. The honest take? Trincao is a proper footballer, but the Wolves flop tag will haunt him until he produces at Anfield. He's a risk, but at £50 million in this market, he's a calculated one. He has the technical ability, but does he have the oomph to survive the Premier League's physical demands this time around? Let us know. Is Trincao a brilliant bargain or a sign of declining ambition? Liverpool transfer news. Curtis Jones's teammate confirms conversations over Inter move. Could Curtis Jones be the next Liverpool star heading for the exit door? Fresh comments from Federico Chiesa have added a fascinating twist to the midfielder's future, with Inter Milan continuing to monitor the situation closely. The Italian giants were heavily linked with Jones during the January transfer window, but Liverpool refused to consider a deal midway through the season. Now, with the summer window open and a new era beginning under AndIraola, Inter have reportedly revived their interest. Recent reports claim that Inter sporting director Piero Ausilio held discussions with Liverpool chief Richard Hughes regarding a possible move. While nothing has been agreed, speculation surrounding Jones has continued to grow. Now Chiesa has provided perhaps the strongest hint yet that conversations are taking place behind the scenes. Speaking to La Gazzetta dello Sport, the Liverpool winger revealed that Jones has been asking him about life in Italy. Chiesa admitted the midfielder was curious about what it is like to live and play there. The Italian international even joked that the weather is better than Liverpool, before describing the city as a special place. More importantly, Chiesa openly praised his teammates' quality, saying Jones is technically excellent and that Inter are right to be interested in him. Those comments are sure to spark debate among Liverpool supporters, especially with Jones approaching a crucial stage of his career. The academy graduate made 49 appearances during the 2025-26 season and remained an important squad member despite Liverpool's disappointing campaign. However, he is now entering his final year of his contract, a situation that could force Liverpool to make an important decision if a serious offer arrives. Before any decision is made, though, Jones is expected to speak with Areola and understand exactly where he fits into the new manager's plans. Interestingly, Chiesa's own future at Anfield also appears uncertain. The winger admitted he is prepared to evaluate his options after struggling for regular playing time during the last two seasons. Despite making 36 appearances last season, Chesser started only 5 matches and made it clear that he wants a much bigger role moving forward. He admitted that if consistent opportunities are not available in the Premier League, he may have to look elsewhere. Chesser also confirmed he plans to join Liverpool's pre-season tour in the United States before holding talks with both the club and Iraola about his future. At 28 years old, the former Juventus star knows regular football is essential if he wants to return to his very best level. For Liverpool, this summer could bring major decisions involving not just one player, but several key members of the squad, as Iraola begins shaping his new-look team. What would you do, Reds fans? Keep Curtis Jones and build around him, or accept a big offer from Inter Milan if one arrives? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest Liverpool news.
Iraola arrives, the gaffer's bold new signings pledge and the Arne Slot truth revealed. Can a man who's only ever coached at the level of the Europa League truly handle the sheer magnitude of the Anfield hot seat? Or are we looking at a gamble that could define the next decade of Liverpool Football Club? It's the question every Red is asking as the Andoni Iraola era officially kicks off. The Spaniard has just put pen to paper on a 2-year deal, stepping into the massive void left by Arne Slot, who was ruthlessly sacked just 1 week ago, despite steering the club back into the Champions League places. The context here is vital, because we aren't just changing a manager, we're changing an entire philosophy after a season that was described as dismal, despite a 5th place finish. Slot's departure was sudden. He only found out on a Saturday morning, and he leaves behind a squad that feels both elite and broken. Iraola comes in with the momentum of a 19-game unbeaten streak at Bournemouth, but he's trading the South Coast for a club where the demands are massive, and the Champions League is the bare minimum. The drama lies in the contract itself, a short 2-year deal. Iraola claims this keeps him motivated, but it also leaves the club in a precarious position if things don't click immediately. He's walking into a dressing room where the Slot sacking is still being processed, and where the hierarchy, led by Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, holds all the cards regarding who stays and who goes. Looking at the facts, Iraola is already making moves to win over the supporters. He's been clear that he has analysed this squad's strengths and weaknesses extensively. In a brilliant bit of man management, he's declared that every current player is a new signing to him, signalling a clean slate for those who struggled under the previous regime. He's also reunited with Milos Kerkez, a player he developed into a star at Bournemouth, suggesting he knows exactly how to get the best out of the talent already at the pitch. My honest take, it's a proper risk-reward scenario. Iraola's football is high intensity and exciting, but a 2-year deal feels like the club is hedging its bets. If he doesn't get a tune out of the new signings immediately, the pressure will be unbearable. Is Iraola the tactical genius we need, or just a stopgap for a bigger name down the road? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you backing the Spaniard, or should we have stuck with Slot? Bayern rejected. Rio Numoha drops bombshell on Liverpool future. Would you walk away from the biggest club in the world to join the German giants, or would you stay and fight for your place under a new gaffer who's promised a clean slate for everyone? The 17-year-old sensation Rio Numoha has found himself at the centre of a massive tug-of-war, with Bayern Munich reportedly making personal phone calls to convince him to move to the Bundesliga. They see him as the ultimate heir to Luis Diaz, who already made the jump from Anfield to Munich last season. The context is crucial. Numoha was one of the few bright sparks in an otherwise disastrous second season for Arne Slot. While Slot was often criticised for his reluctance to blood the youngsters, Numoha's raw pace and flair injected life back into the Kop. With Salah gone and the squad in flux, losing our brightest academy prospect now would feel like a betrayal of the club's values. The drama reached a fever pitch on Friday night when it was revealed that Numoha was Bayern's #1 target after they missed out on Anthony Gordon. The tension is real. If the pathway from the academy to the first team is blocked, why would any young star stay? However, the player himself might have already settled the debate, with his own words, potentially leaving the Bavarians empty-handed. The facts are these. Numoha has publicly stated that Liverpool, for me, are the biggest club in the world and praised the belief the manager and players have shown in him. He is expected to play a major role under AndIraola, potentially even starting the first game of the new season, given the lack of options on the flanks. Bayern's interest is concrete, but Numoha's loyalty seems equally steadfast. My honest take, we have to keep him at all costs. Selling Numoha would be a rubbish piece of business and would send the wrong message to every other lad in the academy. He's a proper player with the world at his feet. If Iraola gives him the minutes he deserves, he could be our breakthrough star of 2026. Do you think Numoha is the real deal, or should we cash in if Bayern offer a crazy fee?
Mass exodus. Van Dijk and Alisson among 6 stars set to quit Liverpool. Are we witnessing the final days of the greatest Liverpool squall in a generation, or is this just a brutal but necessary clearing of the decks by the new hierarchy? The news coming out of Anfield is nothing short of a bombshell. 6 senior stars, including captain Virgil van Dijk and world-class keeper Alisson Becker, are currently set to leave the club for absolutely nothing next summer. It's a contract crisis that threatens to overshadow AndIraola's entire debut campaign. The backstory here is a grim pattern of mismanagement. We've already seen Mohamed Salah and Andy Robertson depart this summer, and Ibrahima Konate has just walked away for free to join Real Madrid after contract talks collapsed. The club failed to learn the lessons of last year, letting key players enter the final 12 months of their deals, effectively handing all the power to the players and their agents. The drama is the uncertainty it creates in the dressing room. How can Iraola build a new era when his entire defensive spine, Van Dijk, Alisson, Joe Gomez, could be planning their exits? Even the future of young talents like Stefan Bajcetic and Curtis Jones are up in the air. It's a dangerous situation that could turn Liverpool into the new Man United if not handled with absolute precision. Here are the cold, hard facts. The combined market value of these 6 players stands at a staggering £74 million. Along with Van Dijk and Alisson, the list includes Wataru Endo, Joe Gomez, Stefan Bajcetic and Curtis Jones. Unless they sign new terms before January, they can all negotiate free transfers to overseas clubs. This follows the departure of Trent Alexander-Arnold to Madrid, which only netted the club a modest fee because his contract was so close to expiring. My honest take, this is a proper shambles from the boardroom. You cannot lose players of this calibre for free and expect to compete at the top. Richard Hughes needs to get these lads around a table immediately, or start selling them now to recoup some value. We are risking a total collapse of the squad's core. Who is to blame for this contract mess, the players or the FSG hierarchy?
Rejected. Why Liverpool let Ederson join Man United, and the shock midfield truth. How does it feel to watch a long-term transfer target waltz straight into the arms of our biggest rivals at Old Trafford? It's a bitter pill to swallow for many, but is there a secret reason why the Reds stepped back from the deal for Atalanta's midfield engine? For months, Ederson was touted as the perfect alternative to Martin Zubimendi, the man to bring some much-needed oomph to a midfield that was often too easy to play through during the 2025-26 campaign. The timing of this transfer bomb couldn't be worse, coming just as AndIraola tries to get his feet under the table. Last summer, the club spent over £400 million, yet we still finished 11 points behind United. The rivalry in the transfer market is just as fierce as it is on the pitch, and seeing Fabrizio Romano drop the 100% confirmed "here we go" for Ederson to the Red Devils feels like a massive blow to our summer plans. However, the conflict here is tactical. While Ederson is a ball-progressing machine, there are serious concerns about his looseness under pressure. In a high-octane Iraola system, a midfielder who puts his teammates in trouble with risky passes is a liability we simply cannot afford. The drama is whether Liverpool are being too picky or if they truly believe they can find a more Fabinho-like presence to anchor the midfield. The numbers are now set in stone. Manchester United have completed the documents for a €45 million, £38.8 million package deal. The Brazilian had reportedly agreed terms with United as far back as May, meaning Liverpool may have been chasing a ghost for weeks. With Alexis McAllister and Curtis Jones facing uncertain futures, the need for a midfield signing is reaching boiling point.
Here's the honest take. Losing a player to United always stings, but Ederson might have been a problematic fit for Anfield. He's reliable and risk-averse, which is fine for some, but we need grit and nastiness. If Richard Hughes has a better, more monstrous option lined up, then letting Ederson go to Manchester is a masterstroke. But if we end the window without a proper number 6, the fans will be fuming. Was Ederson a missed opportunity, or are you glad we dodged a £39 million bullet?